Hey everyone, welcome to Open Source Spotlight. We invite open source authors and ask them to show the tools they're working on. Today we have again Rogerio, and this is not the first time we see him. So the previous video we had on this channel was about LangWatch scenarios, and today we have LangWatch itself. So please tell us a few words about yourself for those who haven't watched the previous video, and also about LangWatch.
Yeah, for sure. Hello, hi, my name is Rogerio. I am the author and co-founder of LangWatch, the LLMOps open source platform, and also, as Alexei mentioned, Scenario, the agent testing library that we presented last time. Very nice to thank you very much for you to have me here, Alexei.
And for those who didn't see the video, the previous video with scenarios, I highly recommend. Especially, I was very impressed with the demo of reproducing Lovable. It was so cool,
Yeah.
and like I didn't imagine it would be so easy to actually do this. And because of the testing framework, because of scenarios, it made it possible to reproduce it so easily. So check it out; it's really cool.
Exactly. And we might touch a little bit at the end as well. We have some new things that connect with LangWatch for visualization as well.
Okay.
But yeah, let's go. If I can start, maybe I should start from the repo. What do you think?
Yep.
This is the LangWatch repository. If you're there, give us a star. But basically, here is all the code for the platform. So LangWatch is an LLMOps platform that you can install and run locally, or that you can very easily use our cloud version too. It's fully featured. You can quickly see all the features here, observability, prompt management, and so on. But what we really shine on is on the evaluations part, as I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to show you a quick demo on how can you do observability very easily. And as you can see here, get all your traces, and also how you can set up an evaluation, like you see here on this GIF that's going on. If you go a little bit further, we have, of course, full documentation of all of that, but on the README right away, you see a way to start a Docker Compose. So you have all this platform running locally, or you can also install with a very simple Helm chart on your Kubernetes and get it up and running. But let me show you the platform straight away. So you can simply go to langwatch.ai to create an account, and you will end up here. This is a demo project that you all have access to. So when you create an account, if it's not populated, you can go to the demo project to play with it.
If we
And
start LangWatch locally, we have the same project, right?
no, locally you don't have locally it will be all empty. This project's on the cloud version. Yeah, this demo project. But you can create as many projects as you want. And yeah, the integration is really easy. And as soon as you start getting your traces in, you have all this metrics flow, like you can track your LLM costs, your tokens. And one interesting thing that we have as well is automatic topic clustering. So you can figure out what most of those traces are about by using an LLM that cluster those, or create any custom reports here as well. You have basically almost like a Grafana inside here that you can plot all this data. But I wanted to show really quick how easy it is to get a trace in. And
What
let
is
me
the
switch.
trace? Maybe let's start with that. Like, why do we want to have an LLM ops platform in the first place? Why do we want traces? Why do we want evaluations?
Absolutely. Yes, that is a great point. So when you're doing LLM conversations, so let me try to find some here. Here, I think I have a good examples from the SPI. And then here I have some conversations from the user who decides if a tomato is a fruit or vegetable. Very important question, right? So differently than just analytics for traditional software, LLMs are a lot about text, right? Either if you're doing conversation or not, if you're just passing JSON around, but there is a lot of text flowing back and forth, and it is very non-deterministic. So a lot of things can go in the directions that you don't expect. So it is essential for you to monitor in production any company that takes their LLM app and go to production, they quickly realize that. And then you want to be able to debug it, right? So if something goes wrong, so like this question, there was an evaluation that failed on this question, you probably want to investigate it and take a look. And LangWatch allows you to capture those messages, which we call a trace. The trace is the standard naming for observability together with the spans. So the structure goes like this. A trace is the full input and output, like the user send a message and then received an output, right? And a span is everything that happens in between this input and output. It might have, many things might have happened. Like in this case, there is a rag, right? So I did a retrieve. You can debug it here, and you see that I did a retrieve for this question in Wikipedia to see if Wikipedia had a solution, and it returned something like about Nixon and also about tomato. So you can see that it did return the right thing, but you might want to check on this search query because, yeah, maybe this shouldn't be returning this, although there is, oh yeah,
So
yeah,
in
there was.
this particular example, and we have a monitoring for a RAG application, which
Exactly.
queries Wikipedia for the questions that users ask.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you can see other components too. For example, the SPy provides a chain of thought component that already adds reasoning on top of your LLM. And you can see going all the way through those modules until it calls the LLM. And the LLM in this case was GPT-4o Mini. And you can see the amount of tokens, the cost, and the parameters, input, output, and so on. So if something goes wrong, you can fully debug what happened and where, right? And then you can use those traces to collaborate with the rest of your team. First of all, LangWatch has a very easy way to display here, very visual, also for non-technical people, that you can even, you can translate if it's not English and comment, and doing an annotation like this. It looks just like Google Docs. So you can have the human in the loop checking on those messages as well. And of course, set up an alert if something went wrong.
If I have a conversation with this system, with this chatbot, and the conversation includes, so I asked who decides if a tomato is a fruit or vegetable, and then I have a follow-up question, but it doesn't taste like a fruit. Why it's a fruit, right? So I have like a conversation with the bot. The trace would include the entire conversation, or just the question and answer?
No, each one of those is a different trace. So this is one trace, this is another trace, and this is another trace. But they are all grouped together by the same thread. So the hierarchy level is threads. So they're all in the same thread. You see the same number, but it's threads, traces, spans. So you can fully group them and see like level by level. And then if I click here on view this trace, now this one is highlighted, and then I get the agent call that happened here instead.
I understand.
Cool.
Okay.
And then let me just show very quickly how it works behind the scenes. I have here a very simple OpenAI bot. All I need to do is call langwatch.setup and then tag my function as langwatch.trace. This is all OpenTelemetry behind the scenes. And then just by tagging the functions that I want captured, then LangWatch start capturing those, plus some additional integrations with LLMs, with frameworks, agent frameworks that does the instrumentation automatically. For example, this OpenAI AutoTrack. But since it's all OpenTelemetry based, then you can integrate it other libraries as well. So if you're tracking Celery queues, or if you're tracking Google Agent Development Kit, which is OpenTelemetry native, or Mastra, then it just works out of the box as well. But after tagging this, and of course, setting your environment variable API key, then let me show you a quick example run. I'm going to start a little chat window here that I'm going to talk to my bot. So, hello. Hey there, what's up? So then now if I go back to LangWatch, I'll see my message just popped up here, either on the list view, very easy to read, or on the table view where you can see all other metrics as well. and then I can investigate the trace. In this case, it's a very simple trace. There is just an LLM call. And that's it. You are integrated.
That's cool.
The other part that I want to show about the platform, which is really powerful on LangWatch, is the evaluations. You can see the number 2 here, that there are 2 evaluations that run on this trace. So like I was saying, those are messages now, like those are text or JSON or something. They are not just numbers, right? So then you need also more intelligence, let's say, to evaluate if something went wrong or not. A couple of things that are very common to check is if it leaked PAI or if there was a jailbreak attempt, right? You can set up those plus LLM as a judge and other validation metrics using the evaluations for real-time evaluations on LangWatch. So LangWatch supports all kinds of evaluations, real-time, offline, create a custom evaluator, and so on. For those ones that I just showed now, those are real-time evaluations. The way they work is as soon as you receive a message, then the evaluation is triggered, and then you can see back on that little number that I showed you there. So then you can set it up through here. We're going to get that in a bit, but you can potentially also filter on them. So let's say I want to check those messages where the jailbreak detection failed. Those are 30 out of 1,000. And then I want to get alerted by them. Then you can be alerted on Slack, by email, or even add this message to a data set.
So, do I understand correctly that the only thing I need to do in my chat application is add the annotation? I don't need to programmatically add any evaluations. Once I have the annotation in my code, I can run the application and then I add the checks, the evaluations later through LangWatch, right?
Exactly. So you can set up everything.
I'm just curious for the user. So let's say if you try to jailbreak the assistant right now, will the user see anything? Like, because I imagine.
Yes. So right now,
maybe you can show us.
Yeah, I'll show, because right now it is just working as an alerting mechanism. So it's not guardrailing it. What you asked, yes, indeed, just the annotation, you don't need to change your code, but you can too. So if you have a custom evaluator integration, your own function, you can capture that and then you can send to LangWatch. That works. Or you can also set up the LangWatch evaluators as a guardrail. Then you put in the middle of your code and then you stop the user. I'm going to show you how to do it right away. In this case, it's running on the platform after the message arrives. So then what will happen here is that a jailbreak detection occurred. I'm adding to a data set. And this is why it's so important to capture all the data on the trace, because you can capture all those question answers. You can fully map to any field that you want. You can have any column, any structure, and then you map this data that is coming in. So you keep building this data set to later adjust your prompts, fine-tune your model, so on, or at least have someone review it. But apart from this real-time evaluation, you can also set it up as a guardrail. Let's go there. So when you go to evaluations and start a new one, you open up this evaluation wizard, and this guides you through all the possible ways that you can build and evaluate. So going here on real time, you see this is the one we chose when we set up that one that you just saw, but you can also choose as a guardrail. Let me go on this path then. So when I choose as a guardrail, I can put my jailbreak detection as a guardrail. For example, I have a series of evaluators here, LLM as a judge, reg quality, or a custom one, expected answer, if you have that. And then this prompt injection receives the inputs and the context, because there might be a prompt injection in the context too. And with this button, it shows you the code. So when you're doing a guardrail, you need to stop the user before the answer comes, right? And then the way this works is it calls the LangWatch guardrail here, and then you can just put an if condition. If the guardrail didn't pass, then it says, I'm sorry, I can do that. Right? It can also return asynchronously, so you can execute in parallel. I have an example here for the guardrails running in parallel. So here I have 2 guardrails set up. One is the jailbreak detection one, and the other one is the off-topic evaluator. So what I do is I generate a completion message on the for OpenAI, and at the same time I start this async jailbreak and off-topic guardrails, right? And then when my completion is done, I first check if the guardrails has failed. Not when it's done, like when the first token is arriving, first I check if any guardrails failed. And if they did, then I just stop the user here. If they didn't, then I proceed as normally, right? So then this way I can detect if the guardrails have failed and at the same time send a message without adding much latency. And then all
And
that
a
is...
use case for that would be, let's say I have an application for booking train tickets, and then somebody just wants to ask this application if tomato is a fruit or not. Right?
Exactly,
And
exactly.
it's not the intentional use. We don't want to be paying for these requests, so we add a guardrail to check that only the intentional use is allowed.
And you can even use like LLM as a judge guardrail. So is the user staying on topic about travel, right? For your example. So if they ask about tomatoes, then this will reply no, and you can use that as a guardrail, for example. And then you see your prompt is here, so you can easily change too. Cool.
Amazing. And you also said that there is a way to cluster these things.
Yeah.
Well,
there is exactly. There is a lot more to show on the evaluations. So for the traces, I think you mean the topic clustering, right? So those there are many questions on this demo account. Those clusters happen automatically with embeddings model as it comes through the platform. All those models, by the way, on LangWatch are fully configured by you, so you can put your API keys. And if you run this on-prem, then you have it fully air-gapped. So no data goes outside. So this is using the models that you set up to do this clustering. And you can very quickly understand what your message are about. But the other thing that I wanted to show here is how can we do offline evaluation as well, because that's a big powerful part of the LangWatch platform. Together with the simulations on the scenario that I showed last time, you can also run not only those real-time evaluations that I showed, but you can run an evaluation in batch. So if I get, let me see, I had a common customer questions. How can I reset my password? How do I contact customer support? Or maybe this one. Yeah. So what I can do is test my prompts here. All those prompts are versioned on the platform. Then you can use back on your code. And then differently than the one that I'm trying to detect issues in my pipeline or in production, right? Here you can test before going to production. So the use case here is, of course, we want to be confident, right? Before launching the application. In this case, I can use the expected answer evaluation because I do know what answer I'm expecting from the AI. And then, because it's an AI, I can use another LLM to check if those two answers match factually, because they will not be word by word the same. So here through the platform, let me do this customer support eval. You can just click run evaluation, and then you see all those inputs and outputs being evaluated. There you go. Then I'm jumping here quickly to one that I already ran a couple of times, but then you see the results of the evaluations here on the platform, all the messages that passed and all that that failed. And then you can go back, change your prompt, update the message, and then change it again and keep evaluating the results until you're sure that you have a better version. Then you can go with this better version to production. All that is available from the API as well. You can do on the platform, or you can very easily do it on Jupyter Notebooks, wrap up your loop, and then just use LangWatch platform to visualize it.
It's amazing. I saw one of the cluster is Lost Socks Mystery. What was that?
Oh, is it? Okay, let me check. That's true.
What was that?
Where do all the missing socks go? Pizza is delicious. Okay, that's interesting. So let me tell you what, this is a demo account, right? So we need to populate with messages, and then we didn't want to use public messages from people because for privacy reasons, right? So then we actually use another LLM to generate those funny questions on the demo account. And I guess it hallucinated a missing sock mystery. That's very interesting.
Okay. Like pizza has nothing to do with this, but like one of the answer is as an AI, I am unable to physically search for socks, which makes sense, right?
That's
Or
true.
socks
And
disappear to a secret location. That's awesome. Like I think this is like some conspiracy theory.
yes, exactly. And this is very interesting because it's indeed has nothing to do with pizza. So that's exactly the trigger for you to investigate, right? What's
Uh-huh.
going wrong and what pizza has
Okay.
to do with socks, and you might discover an interesting user
No.
case.
Okay, we should be wrapping up. Amazing demo. Thanks for doing this, and I think this is very relevant to what we cover right now in our LLM Zoom Camp course. I just have a few questions before we finish, like the same questions as I asked you last time. How many people are working on LangWatch? Is it the same as scenarios? Same people, the same group of people?
Yeah, same people. Yeah, same company. We are 8 people right now, devs and non-devs, but mostly devs. Yeah, but of course we're always looking for contributors. You can join our Discord community there as well for any questions, any help, or if you're looking for a first issue to help out. And join the community, join us.
Okay, so you knew what I was going to ask, right? About the contributing to LangWatch. So
I
that's
guess
cool.
so. Yeah, not my
Yeah.
first rodeo. But
So last one. Do you have any advice to anyone who is watching this video?
yes, I do. I think I was just talking this morning about this. People ask me about fine tuning, about LHF, and so on. But I'd say, just like I showed here on the evaluations, the biggest effort that you need to put right now, if you want to really crack your LLM applications, is how do you define quality? So, what do you mean when you say that an answer is good or not? Like, how can you? We are all vibe checking and vibe coding. How can you translate the vibes on your mind to actual evaluators? This will allow you to speed up so much. We've seen it with clients speeding up so much that everything else becomes an implementation detail. So does this prompt work better? Does fine tune work better? The DSPy automation? I don't know. If you have a way to measure, then it's all fun in the middle that you can try different things.
Yeah. Great advice. And I've been asked this question so many times, like, what is better, rack or fine tuning? Right?
Yeah,
And
the
the
answer
answer
is
is it so
I
depends.
don't know. It depends.
Yeah,
It depends on yours. Measure it, and then you
sure.
can just switch. And the switching is the fun part because you learn new technologies.
I think this is what the product managers say. Don't guess, measure, right? I think I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, there is the what gets measured gets managed.
Right, right. Okay, thanks. Awesome demo. Thanks a lot for doing it again. If you have any other libraries coming up, we're always happy to have you here in this in Open Source Spotlight. So pleasure having you here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.